Hello and welcome to my Flunder deck profile for Yugioh Master Duel. First I'm gonna go over the cards real quick, then I'm gonna give you some thoughts on the deck, and at the end of the video you will find a replay of this deck in action. All the Flunder monsters have the gimmick that they can give you an additional normal summon, but they lock you out of special summons for the whole turn. Also, if they would leave the field, they banish themselves, and if another winged beast monster is normal summoned, they can add themselves from the banished pile to your hand again. I'm playing 3 Robina. Robina is probably the best one, because the Flunder monsters have an effect they have to use before they can give you an additional normal summon. Robina can add a level 4 or lower winged beast monster from your deck to the hand, and then it can give you an additional normal summon. This means that it can add most of your other starters, and it can add you a barrier statue or Harpy Harpist from the deck to the hand. So it's either a small interruption on your opponent's turn, or it can get you another starter. I'm playing 3 Eaglin. Eaglin can get you your big boss monsters, it can get you your level 7 or higher winged beast monsters when it's normal summoned, and then give you an additional normal summon. Stree can banish a card from the graveyard, or rather has to banish a card from the graveyard, and then can give you an additional normal summon. This is really nice because you can banish a DPE with this, but sometimes you don't have access to cards, to putting cards in the graveyard, and then a normal summoning Stree wouldn't give you an additional normal summon. I'm playing 1 Toucan. Toucan can, when it's normal summon, add you a banished Floowandereeze card from the banished pile to your hand, even Floowandereeze spell or traps. So the Floowandereeze low level monsters add themselves back anyway when you normal summon a Flunder monster or another winged beast monster, but Toucan can get you your banished spells and traps back, which is really nice. And I'm playing 1 barrier statue of the Stormwinds. Stormwinds is just a cool card. You can summon this most of the times on your first turn if you open Robina, and sometimes you can summon it on your second turn as well. Yeah, there's a reason why people playing the Wind Kaiju now. I'm playing 1 Harpy Harpist. Harpy Harpist is nice because sometimes you can get twice an additional normal summon on your opponent's turn, and then with the first normal summons you can get a level 7 or higher winged beast monster, and then with other normal summons you can get a Harpy Harpist. So this is 2 interruptions on your opponent's turn this way. I'm playing 3 Dimension Shifters, and I decided to not play any Maxx Cs, because if you use Dimension Shifter you cannot use Maxx C anymore for 2 turns. If you use Maxx C you cannot use D-Shifter anymore, and I feel like D-Shifter is the better card. Maxx C does nothing in the mirror match, D-Shifter not as well, but D-Shifter is a turn ender against many decks. And if you use Maxx C, your opponent can just ash it, your opponent can cross out it. There's so many ways to get rid of Maxx C, but D-Shifter, no one is gonna cross out Designator a D-Shifter, because the only deck that's playing D-Shifter is Madolche or Flunder, and they don't mind using a D-Shifter. And then for my high level boss monsters, I'm playing 1 Mist Valley Apex Avian. Apex Avian can return itself from the field to the hand to negate and destroy a card effect our opponent used. This is not a hard once per turn as well, so there's some situations where we can use his effect and then normal summon him again on our opponent's turn. 2 Omni negates and destroys are always really nice. Then I'm playing 1 Riser the Mega Monarch. A Riser can target a card in the graveyard and 1 card on the field to return them to the top of the deck. This allows us to return our own D-Shifter to the top of our own deck and then use the D-Shifter just on the next turn again. Because if we use D-Shifter, everything else in the graveyard got banished, and if we return the D-Shifter, then there's no card in our graveyard again. I'm playing 1 Floowandereeze and M-Pen. M-Pen is nice because it can add us any Flunder spell or trap from the deck to the hand, and it's a floodgate against attack position monsters. Many decks can play around the attack position monster floodgate though, so M-Pen isn't that great as a floodgate, I'll say that much. But M-Pen's ability to add a Flunder spell or trap is always very appreciated. It cannot add itself back from the banished pile though, so you have to banish it and then add it with Toucan, so there's some weird shenanigans you have to do. Then I'm playing 1 Raigeki. Sadly, this is not unlimited like in the TCG. It's a nice board breaker, and the deck would really benefit if it wouldn't be limited. I'm playing 1 Duster. Duster is a nice card, but I haven't seen Lich or backroom decks that much this format. Duster is really nice in the mirror match because you can pop your opponent's Dreaming Town, you can pop your opponent's map, you can just get rid of some combo decks this way. I'm playing 1 Terraforming because the Flunder field spell is really good. 1 gold Zark because the Flunder monsters can add themselves from the banished pile, 3 Pot of Duality just to draw deeper into the deck, 3 Pot of Prosperity just to draw even deeper into the deck. Then I'm playing 1 Dark Ruler no more. You can run this as a one-off because you play Duality and Prosperity and you don't want to see it if you go first. Then I'm playing 2 Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is really, really good as well. You can change the ratios as well. You can play 2 Dark Ruler no more, 1 Lightning Storm, however you want to. Then I'm playing 3 Map. Map is really, really nice. A good hand always has Map plus a starter. Like Robina is cool, but Map is just better. Map can banish you any Flunder card from the deck by revealing a Floowandereeze level 1 monster in your hand, and then you can normal summon the card you revealed and essentially just add back the card you banished. This way you can add any low level monster from your deck to the hand. You can have access to other stuff as well. If you, for example, have a Toucan, you can banish a Dreaming Town, and then with Toucan add the Dreaming Town from your deck to the hand by first banishing it and then adding it with Toucan. And Magnificent Map gives you an additional normal summon if your opponent has normal summoned on that turn. I really, really like Map. Map is a really cool card. Then I'm playing 1 Floowandereeze and the Unexplored Winds. Unexplored Winds is cool because you can send a card my opponent controls to the graveyard to tribute summon. Monster requires 2 tributes. You could play this in Monarchs as well. It's not locked into Flunder monsters. It can draw cards as well by shuffling back winged beast monsters from your hand into the deck. This comes in clutch sometimes because you just have many names in your hand twice. So, for example, 3 Robina, you just shuffle back 2 and draw 2 cards. This is nice to essentially mulligan your hand, and the really good effect is that you can tribute off your opponent's cards, not just monsters. Then I'm playing 3 Book of Moon. If you get impermed or Veiled, you can Book of Moon your own monster and it will still resolve, and it's good to break boards as well. Then I'm playing 2 Called by the Grave. I've seen some lists that play they play Crossout Designator plus some hand traps, but I think that's not the way to go. Like, I guess you can be safe from some other hand traps, but Called by the Grave is just nicer because you don't need to banish something specific from the deck. Also, Book of Moon can help you to play around some other hand traps as well, so Called by the Grave is enough, I think. Then I'm playing 1 Dreaming Town as the last card in my main deck. It's a trap, so you don't want to see it if you go second, but you have easy access to this by banishing it, for example, and then adding it with Toucan or adding it with Ampan, and it's just good because this your opponent can't really play around. Like they can play around Map by not normal summoning or keeping their normal summon as long as possible. And with Dreaming Town, you can just, during the main phase when they did something, slap this down and then get an additional normal summon. Now the extra deck. I'm playing some cards that everybody's playing, but I'm playing some really spicy stuff as well. I'm playing 1 Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale. You can make this with... Now the extra deck. I'm playing some cards that everybody's playing, but I'm playing some really spicy cards as well. I'm playing 1 Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale. You can make this with any number of level 1 monsters, and this can attack directly. This way you can make this with 5 level 1 monsters, attack directly, and then make a Zeus with 6 materials. I'm playing 1 King Nagashi Fako. This can be made with any 2 level 1 monsters, and it's unaffected by other card effects, and you can make this unable to be destroyed by battle. So this can just stall a turn if you're in a bad situation. Map doesn't lock you out of special summoning, so you can technically use Map to get a normal summon, then just do a normal summon, and then make a Fako. It will not come up much. This is a card you can banish with Prosperity most of the time. Then I'm playing 1 Downard, just to give an additional material to Zeus. 1 Zeus. 1 Linkuribo, because all of your level 1 monsters can make a Linkuribo. Then I'm playing 1 Almirage and 1 Heater the Fire Charmer. Ash Blossom is a fire monster that many people are using, so this way you can make an Almirage, because this is a normal summon monster with 1000 or less material, less attack as a material. Then you can make a Heater with the Almirage plus another monster, summon back the Ash from the graveyard, make a Selene effect, special summon a D-shifter from the deck, and then make an access code. It's a nice package, I think. Most people are just playing Win and Area, but I think the Almirage plus Heater is a nice addition to the deck as well. I'm playing one Geonator Transverser just because this is a really great Link 2, one Black Luster Soldier because we can make this easily with a level 7 or higher monster, one Simorgh, Bird of Sovereignty. This doesn't come up much as well. I played the deck quite much over the last days, but I never made this. And then one Selene just to make access code, and finally one Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This can be used to link off any problematic monsters, like say your opponent has an Arrival, your opponent has a Crooked Cook, your opponent has something else that you cannot affect, then you can make this, because like Arrival is gonna get rid of one of your monsters every turn, but it's not gonna get rid of 5 of your normal summons that you can do. Yeah, this was the deck, and now some thoughts on the deck. I was really hyped on when I heard that this would come out. Flunder is a great deck in the TCG at the moment, and it's topping some events, but I feel like the best of one format doesn't help this deck at all. It's good in a blind second way, but Master Duel has too many broken cards to make blind second really viable. Also in the mirror match, this deck is horrible to play. The person that opened map first just wins the game, and if you have Lightning Storm, then it's GG for your opponent as well. D-Shifter is cool, but yeah, you have to be lucky to draw it. With my luck, I most of the time just drew it in the mirror match where it did nothing, and the times I drew it against other decks, I just got this Called by the Graved. So yeah, the deck is in a really weird position, because essentially Fractal can do much that this deck can do as well. Like, you use Fractal and you can end on an Apple for 3 plus a Wind Barrier statue, or there's some other decks that can do essentially what this deck does, but just better. I think other control decks are probably better. Lich is still better. If you just play Lich with some Brave stuff, then it's probably better. Prank Hits is way better. But I think this is still a fun deck to play. Many people just concede against this deck for no reason. Like, they see I'm playing Flunder and they are instantly surrendering. But I feel like this deck is very fair to play against. Like, I guess that this deck is good in the grind game because everything can add itself back from the banished pile, but it's really not that much of a threat if you play against this. Yeah, I played this deck for around 1 day before I reached Plat, not Plat, before I reached Diamond. I went all the way from the lowest Silver rank up to Diamond, so it was a really easy run. I didn't lose anything in Gold. I lost, I think, 4 matches in Plat, and that's about it. Like, I didn't play many matches before I reached Diamond with this, so it's a good deck if you want to climb the ranks. I can say that, but it's not a great deck if you want to play at tournaments, for example. If you want to play this deck, I can still recommend this deck really much. I can still recommend this list very much. I've seen some other lists that I really don't like, and I've tested much out with this deck. Something like the Harpy Harpist, for example, is a really nice addition. I've talked with some other people as well, and they gave me the idea for the Almirage plus Heater, which is really cool. Like, Ash Blossom is in the graveyard in many games, and your opponent is rarely gonna have a wind or a water monster in the graveyard, unless you can take a Griffin with a wind. That's likely to happen, but a water monster is rarely ever gonna happen. Yeah, now the replay.